Now I know it looks like I'm in a very big bunker, but I'm actually on the beach at Hoylake in the northwest of England. It's on the Wirral, it's near Liverpool if you're not familiar with this area, this is actually a very good test of the wind cat on my microphone because it's blowing a gale here, as you would imagine. But it's a beautiful morning and I have had the most wonderful time here because I was invited to play at Royal Liverpool, where they played the Open Golf Championship recently, by a very old friend of mine, Mike Barkley. He's been a member there since 1980. It's very much in his bloodstream by now. And he and I are old friends because we played together at Manchester University in the golf team. He's a great character, a great storyteller, a very good pianist. And I think he plays off about a 7 handicap at golf, and we had a wonderful time. We didn't kind of focus too much on the score that we did. We just had a very relaxed game. It was mostly about reminiscing about old times, as two people normally do when they haven't seen each other for years. But no, 33 years since we played golf together, so we had a great time. So I took some footage of our round yesterday, which I'll share with you. It was interesting at the course yesterday because they were still dismantling the stands, the spectator stands, the tented village from the Open Golf. So that's kind of over a month ago now, but they're still at it, and it gives you an idea of how much infrastructure there is at these major events. It's quite extraordinary the amount of stuff that goes on. So the golf was mixed, I guess, but I'm happy to say that my game has recovered somewhat from the confidence sapping experience of playing at Bridgnorth and Enville the other week, which was the basis of my last video. So it was some good stuff yesterday. My driving was really good. My iron play wasn't quite as crisp as it might be, but it's getting there. It's certainly getting there. So I've put together a little montage of our game. It's certainly not every shot by any means, but just a few clips to give you a flavour of the round, a sense of how my game is progressing, and also some reflections on what it's like to play on an Open Championship golf course. It's a rare experience. We only played off the yellow tees, but it's still about 6,300 yards. Still a good test of golf. So let's see how we got on. The first hole at Royal Liverpool was a really testing par 4. It's a sharp dogleg left to right, where the practice ground actually cuts in like a sharp corner on the right hand side. And it's out of bounds. It's just a little sort of low ridge that demarcates the edge of the practice ground. So it's quite an intimidating tee shot and a very tight second shot as well. But in the Open Golf Championship, they actually played in a different sequence. They start on the members' 17th hole. So this opening hole would be their third. These days, it does take me 2 or 3 holes to feel settled in a round of golf. This is the tee shot off the third hole, a par 5, and I think by this time I'd started to feel a little bit more comfortable. I found something, a little trigger in my swing that seemed to feel good, and I drove the ball really well in this round. It was very encouraging after the disappointment of playing so badly at Bridgnorth and Enville the other day. But I have to say that Mike and I, because we hadn't played golf together for so long, we were really just treating this as a catch-up, as a bit of fun. We didn't focus on the score. It was more a case of reminiscing, for me, of enjoying the experience of playing an Open Championship course and maybe trying to find something in my swing that I can build upon and rediscover a little bit of confidence in my golf swing. Right, now Mike in a tricky situation here. The bunkers at Hoylake are really tricky, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But this particular shot that Mike's faced with is tricky because, you know, being a right-hander, the ball hasn't gone in the bunker. He's having to stand in the bunker. The ball's way above his feet. So you have to hold the club right down the shaft. You've got to have bent arms. And I think the key to this shot is just to keep your head really still, very level, to keep the swing smooth, not to panic, Very easy to miss-hit this shot. I think Mike just got caught this a little bit fat, a little bit heavy, but it did get there or thereabouts. So very, very tricky shot, and one of many situations you'll be faced with at Hoylake if you go in or around the bunkers. You get this situation a lot at Hoylake where the ball hasn't quite made it to the green, and you end up in one of these big swales, these big dips around the putting surface. And the grass is cut very, very tight. It's not that much different to the putting surface. So it's perfectly feasible in these situations to use the putter. They call it the so-called Texas wedge when you use the putter from off the green. Couple more drives here. The light at Hoylake is really beautiful. I love the contrast between the green of the course and the blue sky. It looks so nice. It's been this way the last 2 times I've played here. Now, one of the things that Mike's working on is he's a quick player. He really doesn't mess about, but sometimes he doesn't get settled over the ball before he starts his swing, and it can be a little bit rushed. This is the tee shot on the 7th hole. It's a par 3. Just over 170 yards long. I think I hit a 7-iron here, and it was a decent shot. It was more or less on line. It went just over the back of the green, but it's a good it's a good point at which to explain what I'm working on with my golf swing, because I tend to get the club face in an open position at the top of the backswing. If you look at the back of my left wrist, it gets a little bit concave sometimes. In other words, there's an angle between the back of my left wrist and my forearm. And essentially the club face, the angle of the club face will mirror more or less what the back of the left wrist is doing. So to square things up, I really need to feel that the back of my left wrist is in an arched position rather than concave. And I manage it more easily on the practice range. Things are always easier on the practice range than they're on the golf course. So this little clip shows that I'm getting in a better position there. The club face is more square. And when I come into the ball, it means that I don't need to make a last-minute adjustment and flip my hands over in an attempt to square the club face through impact. It's always worth pausing when you play at Hoylake, particularly on the 9th tee, just to take in the view. So here's Mike, my local tour guide, explaining what we have off the coast here at Hoylake in the Dee estuary. Sorry about the wind in the background, but it's worth taking in this view.
So Little Eye is the left-hand one.
So this is Little Eye here.
That's Little Eye.
Yeah.
And then to the right is Middle Eye or Little Hilbury, and then to the right is Hilbury Island.
Okay.
Which was inhabited by the Vikings.
Apparently, although we weren't there to corroborate it. Right, Mike, this is going to be. There's going to be some good stuff on this 9, or this 10. So we're now on the 9th.
Yeah. Punch bowl.
It's good. Right. Mike and I had a bit more bunker trouble on the back 9, and you really just need to get the ball out. That's the number one priority. Don't worry about if you're in a fairway bunker, just get the thing out your distance. And you also get a face full of sand for your troubles as well if you're going into the wind. Now on this one here, when I'm in a greenside bunker, I'm right at the back of the bunker on a downslope. I've got a restricted backswing. It's not going to end well, and it doesn't. But if you do manage to find a decent lie in the sand, it's in the middle of the bunker, in the flat, not at the edges where you can get your feet properly in the bunker and plant your feet in the sand. It's really nice sand to play out of. It's a joy. Honestly, it is. Maybe not. Now we come to the main drama of the round. There's always drama on this hole. This is Little Eye. It's the new hole at Hoylake. It's quite a controversial hole. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly creates some excitement. It's a mere 107 yards off the yellow tees. but it's fraught with danger. It's actually named after one of the islands that Mike mentioned. It's one of the Hilbre Islands, Little I. So let's see how we got on this infamous little par 3. Go on! Oh no! Oh dear. Now Mike's in Dante's, the sandy equivalent of Dante's Inferno. Let's go down to the level and just see what you've got here.
Into the opposite corner.
Oh dear. Look at this. You can do it.
Come on.
Nice! Great shot!
Hang on. I'm gonna get the great.
Brilliant shot.
Strike. That should be fine.
Ooh. And unfortunately, hit it a little bit too far, and it's ended up not quite in Tommy Fleetwood country, but just short of purgatory. And then we came to our final hole, so a nice par 4 downwind, didn't play too long, a couple of nice tee shots to finish with. We have a little bit of banter, Mike and I. We've always done impressions to each other. And for those of you old enough to remember Alex Hay, he was a famous golf commentator for the BBC with a lovely sort of Scottish accent all the years. So that's what he and I are playing with here on the last hole. Oh dear.
Another glancing blow. Beauty. Oh yes. Members bounce as well.
Yes, that was a nice one. Oh dear. So anyway, we finished our round, and what a treat it was to play a championship golf course just after the Open has been played. A little bit of banging and crashing in the background when they're still taking the spectator stands down, but an absolute treat. So I must thank Mike for giving me the opportunity to play and also to catch up after so many years. So I hope you enjoyed this clip. If you have enjoyed our little trip around Hoylake, then do tune in again, do subscribe to the channel, and we will see you hopefully at Royal Lytham next, which is my next golfing assignment. So we'll see you soon.